Do you know what I just said? A restoration of hope that without which you're never going to see an answer. As a matter of fact, let me just start this way. I'm just going to say it to you like the Lord's given it to me. Stop. Stop running. Stop. Every step you're taking away from the promise is a step from life to death. Every step you take away from what you know is to come is a step from life to death. You have been trading land for peace. You have been trading land for peace. And you say, how is it I've been trading land for peace? But the way you've been trading land for peace is this. The hope has become heavy, the weight has become long. And because the hope has become heavy and the weight has become long, it was easier to lay it down than it was to carry it. And it was easier to move away from that hope and allow the enemy to devour that land than it was to defend that land. And so because it became easier to move away from that hope, because you were tired of fighting the faith war, which is what I'm about to preach on, because you became exhausted in the faith war, you began to abdicate that land and give up that hope. Now you say you have faith, but you have no hope. The faith without works is dead. And hope is what spurs your works. You have a faith and you're like a hollow vessel, empty, with nothing in it. My hope is what fills up that vessel. And when the hope fills the vessel of faith, then the hope and faith comes together and you will produce works that will draw you into the land, not out of the land. But as long as you have faith without hope, you'll walk away from that land and it will die. Your hope deferred. So I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt this morning that today is a day of resurrection for some hope in this room. Some of you have hoped for stuff for a long time. And when you heard the word and when you found the word, you had great hope. And now you have some hope or a shell of the hope that you once had. You hold on to a thread, but the thread is far, far less than it was at one time. And because that thread has become smaller and smaller and smaller, it's become more and more difficult for you to actually see the answer in your mind. You are very quick to say you know God can, but you're not sure He will.
Yeah.
Come on.
There are some of you out there this morning that you have become very quick to say, I know God can, but you are no longer sure that God will. Because of the passing of time, because of circumstances, because of things that you have seen. Again, you say, I know He can, but I'm not so sure He will. Can is the empty vessel. Will is the water in it.
Come on now. Good.
I'm going to, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm trying to use that thing like an anchor this morning to slow me down a little bit. That's my Wednesday night wheelhouse, not my Sunday morning wheelhouse, but I'm going to pull my Wednesday night wheelhouse out, and I'm going to ride on the board a little bit tonight this morning, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. But I'm trying to be very careful because I know this is a morning of resurrection. And there are more than one person. There's more than 5 people here. There's several people here today that you are holding on to a promise by thread. Faith is still there, but hope has died. And you've begun to abdicate that land.
Yeah.
I'm just going to follow the Spirit this morning.
Yeah.
I've already stepped over into the weird already anyway, so just give me a second. So here's what the Lord told me. Watch this. This is sometimes when we get into prophetic, we operate in similitudes. Now watch. Some of you have turned your back on your land. But the Lord is saying to me to tell you this. Turn around, face back at your land, and throw your shoe over your land. Sorry.
You scared my kids.
Listen, what do you say, what in the world does that even mean? Because it's a proclamation that belongs to me. The word, 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. It says this, if my people humble themselves, pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, I'll hear from heaven and heal your land. Well, what that means is your land is sick and dying. And you need to notice that you still have a land of promise. And that it's still God's will to give you that land of promise. It is still God's will for you to own what you have advocated to the enemy and moved back away from. It's still God's will for that to be yours. And today is the day for you to humble yourself and notice that you've allowed your hope to slip. Turn and seek the face of Father for a resurrection of your hope. Cry out to Him and regain ownership of your land in the spiritual so that you can then have ownership of your land in the natural.
Amen.
Yeah.
Throw your shoe over your land. Now the rest of you's wondering, is he going to preach out there one shoe? No, I'm going to take the other one off because I'm lopsided. So I'll just take them both off. So let's talk about a faith war this morning. Man, I'm telling you, the spirit is, the plow is set deep right this minute.
Amen.
The plow is set deep. Get your heart ready. Get your heart.
Come on.
Yeah.
Get ready. This is my Bible. I am what it says I am.
I am what it says I am.
Saved, sanctified, set free.
Saved, sanctified, set
More than a conqueror. Strong in the Lord. Strong in the Lord. Strong in the Lord. Healed by His stripes.
healed by His stripes.
Faith walking.
Faith walking.
Hope talking.
Hope talking.
Y'all still with me?
Amen.
Faith walking.
Faith walking.
Hope talking.
Hope talking.
Rapture ready.
Rapture ready.
Member minister. Soldier well armed. A hero of faith.
Hero of faith.
In my land.
In my land.
For my generation.
My generation.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yes. Amen.
Listen, I'm telling you something. You are a hero of faith for your generation in your land. You've heard me say it before. David is dead. Gideon is passed on. Elijah is no longer with us. Great men of faith for their generation who rose up and produced fruit in their land for their generation. But I'll have you know right this minute, God is not bringing Paul, nor Peter, nor John, nor Stephen, nor Gideon, nor David, nor any of the others to your house to knock on your door, to walk up in your living room and carry a shield of faith and a sword of the Spirit for your battle in your land and your generation. You have been anointed and appointed and called as the hero of faith for your land, in your house, at your generation, in your time, and that time is now. Sitting before me right this minute are the heroes of faith for this generation. You are called to possess the land. You are called to open the doors. You are called to tear down the gates. You are called to slay the giants. You are called to defeat the enemy. You are called to walk across the waters and